Hey Phoenix fans, welcome to Phoenix Arms and Defense. And today, in episode 1, we're going to be talking about this, specifically the AR-15 and what it is not, and the various sizes that they come in. So, we're going to go ahead and set that little guy down here, and let's go ahead and dive into this. But first, I want to encourage you guys, if you guys like the content that we put out after watching this video and everything, I want to encourage you guys to subscribe, like, share the video, get it out there so that way people know about this rifle and that it is indeed not a scary thing and that it is actually a very versatile gun. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get into this. So what is the AR-15? I mean, this is a broad question. If you're looking at getting one of these and using it for one or many of the different roles that they have, you got to know what it is and how it works. So, an AR-15 is a gas-operated, either direct impingement or piston, magazine-fed, has a little box, it has a spring and feeds the bullets in, and is shoulder-fired, semi-automatic, keyword semi-auto, more on that in a moment, and can be adapted to a multitude of roles. So, now, semi-automatic. That makes a great segue into our next topic, which is what the AR-15 is not. Pay attention.
This is a ghost gun. This right here has ability with a 30 caliber clip to disperse with 30 bullets within half a second. 30 magazine clip in half a second.
Yeah, so it's definitely not any of those things. It is not an assault rifle. By definition, an assault rifle is something that is, you know, basically a full auto or a full auto variant. It's got select fire. So like a regular AR-15, this thing's only got 2 modes. You've got safe, no bang, semi, one shot, one trigger pull. There is no third mode on this gun. There's no third pin, there's no auto sear. It can only be used in semi-automatic. That's the key thing. It's a semi-automatic rifle. It's no different than this or this. I mean, these are perfectly acceptable guns, especially this one because it only holds 8 rounds. It's got no detachable box mag. That's acceptable. That's not. So, you know, it's not a weapon of war. It's not a ghost gun or what they talk about, 80% guns, another video. It doesn't use a 30 caliber clip. It's not even a 30 caliber gun, not in this configuration anyways. It holds 30 rounds in a standard capacity magazine, and it doesn't fire 30 rounds a second. It just doesn't work. It fires 1 pull per trigger as fast as you can pull the trigger. So the media often demonizes this gun, so a lot of people have a skewed opinion of it. And what I kind of want to get across is what you see in pop culture, when they say, oh, it's an AR-15, and then the next scene you see them just spraying and praying with the thing. That's not a AR-15. That's an actual legit M4, M16 assault rifle. That is not a true AR. So, hopefully we clarified that. Now we're going to go into the sizes. So, you have a multitude of sizes of these things. Really, you have 3 basic sizes, more or less. You have a full-size rifle. You have a carbine, and you have AR pistols / SBRs. Distinct difference between those two, that's another episode on its entirety. It's very detailed legal aspects. There's a big legal difference between the two. So, we're going to go ahead and we'll start with the rifles. What are the rifles used? Well, or more or less what makes it a rifle. So when you look at these 3 categories, the barrel length is really what determines if it's a rifle, carbine, pistol / SBR. So the rifles typically are going to have over 16 inches. The common barrel lengths are going to be 18, 20, 24. The Valkyrie up here is a 20-inch barreled gun. What are the rifles used for? Well, over time, at the beginning of its service life in the M16 configuration, it was used as the service rifle. It was used for combat overseas, but as things have developed and warfare has changed, It's shrunk down into what we see as this, the M4 carbine, or an AR-15 variant of such. Identical reproduction of one, minus it being a little bit longer barrel and being semi-automatic. So anyways, it shortened down in length over time to a carbine. So the rifles actually come to play and do a couple of different roles. They're more used for precision shooting and designated marksmanship. Now, there is a distinct difference between those two. So precision shooting is you're trying to make a bullet go into a specific spot at extended ranges, whereas in designated marksmanship, or the DMR, the designated marksman's rifle, is made to keep people down at distance. So you're not so much concerned with the precision. If you can hit the guy, you're going to hit the guy. But your main idea is to keep him down, keep him from gaining more ground. And you're able to do that a little bit better than with, say, a regular carbine. So that's the rifle. We're going to move down to the carbine. By far, the carbine is the most common thing on the market. This is what everybody goes out and buys. Your Smith & Wesson M&P Sports, a lot of your Daniel Defense guns, the Radiant Arms, which is this one. Number of different guns come in, most commonly the 16-inch barrel. And the reason why is for legal reasons, because, quick caveat on it, the 16 inches is as short as you can go with it being in a rifle configuration. So 16 inches, typically your carbines are going to be 14.5 inches to 16 inches. Now your 14.5 inch guns that most people have, to keep them not being registered as an SBR, they'll often have them pinned and welded, so it makes it overall 16 inch length. That's okay, that is a common practice, and that still qualifies it as a carbine. Now, what are carbines actually used for? Well, carbines are general purpose, really is what I call them. It can push out to fairly extended ranges, 500, 600 yards at best, depending on the optic and your skill set. But it can also be used as, a relatively decent close quarters gun. So it does make a good home defense gun, especially being able to maintain no legal scariness. You're safe by having a stock on the thing, and you don't have to worry about, catching a felony with it. That's why it's so common. Almost all your AR-15s that you see on the shelf are going to be in the 16-inch pattern. So that is a carbine, general purpose. Then you got your AR pistols / short-barreled rifles, or SBRs. Now, those guns, their specific role is more of close quarters. That's one of the things I absolutely love about these guys is they're very, very, very good for home defense situations, especially if you've got them in a pistol caliber conversion of it. So that particular one's in 223-5.56. So with these guys, they're short, they're compact, they can be relatively lightweight depending on the gizmos that you have on it, and they're easy to use in a confined space, i.e. a house, room clearing, things like that. They have a multitude of uses. Some of the advantages with those are, because they are a little bit lighter, a little bit more mobile, they're good, but it has its limitations. Can it shoot out to 500-600 yards? Yeah, it can, but that's where something like this or this is going to excel a little more, because you're going to get a little bit better accuracy out of that aspect of it. But you can hit still, full-size silhouette with these guns. So they are usable to that. It's still very adaptable, but it's more tailored to that up-close role. So those are the sizes, and we kind of hit on some of the advantages, disadvantages of this one. We'll go on up to the advantages, disadvantages of the carbine. And it's pretty simple. Like I said, the advantages, it's the legal configuration. It's the most common one out there. But it's a jack of all trades. It's got limitations in this department and limitations in this department. So, I mean, you could tailor it to do a little bit of everything. It's more multi-use, though. So it's not really good at one thing. It's somewhat good at everything. And then with this guy, its biggest advantage is distance accuracy. That's important. Biggest disadvantage, it's long, it's heavy, and very cumbersome. So clearing a room with it, yeah, you could do it. I mean, it's been done before, but not as ideal. So more for long range, setting up in a fixed position, whereas in these two, definitely more mobile, this one being the most mobile of them all. So why is size important on these guns? Size does matter. I know that's what she said joke. I'm sure some of y'all are going to say that in the comments. Size matters because you have to figure out what platform is going to work the best for you. And the biggest question I always tell people when looking at a firearm, what are you using it for? And how do you want to employ it? How are you going to get the most out of that gun? And that applies with shotguns, rifles, and pistols. Any firearm, what is its primary purpose? That's the first question. Once you figure that out, I'm going to use it for home defense. I just want it as a competitive shooter. I want it, for long range shooting. That then allows you to go into the size point and start looking at these things and weighing in it. Okay, so daily plinking, I could probably go with a 16-inch barrel, or competitive shooting, a 16-inch barrel would be fine. Maybe an 18, depending. Home defense aspects, a carbine or a AR pistol SBR would be nice. Or I want to reach out and touch something at 8,000, 9,000 yards. That's where this platform is going to come in handy as far as the rifle. So that kind of gives you an idea for comparisons on sizes and gets you an idea of why that matters. So that pretty much is going to cover everything for this episode. Short, sweet. We covered what the gun is, what it isn't, why the sizes are mattering, and what the sizes are, and some of their abilities and some of their limitations. So with that, guys, we'll close this video out. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you guys like the content we're putting out, again, like I said, give us a like and a subscribe and drop a comment. Helps beat that YouTube algorithm, gets us out there, and it gets the knowledge and gets the message out there. And that's the key thing we're going for in this video series. So with that, I'm Chris Smith from Phoenix Arms and Defense. And thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next episode.